Hello, good morning, and happy new year from this side. Um, in this series, I'm actually going to be unraveling a lot of things about the confusion, the some very misunderstanding or lack of clarity surrounding the renewable energy system, especially a solar system sort of. You know, in this very series, I'm going to be talking about why is it that your solar system is not performing or seems not to be performing. This is a deliberate, use of word seems not to be performing because there are actually two scenarios, and by the time you watch this video through, you would understand why I chose to use that word seems not to be performing. Why is it that your solar system is not performing or seems not to be performing? You know, there are a lot of reasons for me coming up with this Clip in the last energy exhibition held in the Lagos Island. Somebody walked into our booth, and while we're having a conversation, I was trying to. He runs a service apartment in the VI, and he was saying he needed something that could just be like a makeshift, for the energy system. He uses diesel because he complains about the cost of diesel and the rest of them. So apparently all of his profits, we're going into purchase of diesel. So more or less like he was just wasting his time, and the investment is not even yielding any return. So I was trying to talk him into, going totally renewable solar. And it was like, no, that's how my friend was talked into it, and it's not working. And actually, that was not really the first time I've heard that kind of remark from people who are the or who have ventured into adopting renewable energy like a solar system. So there are a lot of confusion and misunderstanding about this renewable energy system, and the question, some people do not even really have answers to their questions. So I've come with this clip to be able to answer some of those questions that are bothering you. Some of you are just in the dark about the solar system, because sometimes you go to some people's house, you see it is working, you try yours is not working, and you're wondering what could be responsible. So today I'm going to be able to tell you that there are actually three major reasons for why your renewable energy system is not working or seems not to be working. I'll start with number one. The first one is your installer has failed to do a thorough job in its design. He has done a poor sizing. This is actually a very prevalent situation. I've seen that severally. Because today a lot of persons venturing into this renewable energy stuff, they not really take time to undergo training. Some were electricians, and because they can put battery together, connect it to an inverter system, and then connect to the junction box. They just feel that's all about the solar system. No, there is more to it. The major aspect of every solar system design is your sizing. I've discovered over time that most installers do not even understand the integrity of sizing, and that's why your system seems not to be working. And that's why to so many people who were unfortunate to employ the service of such installers, they are regretting. They ended up with disappointments in the entire solar system, because their expectations were not met. So because of that, I'll be telling you, what sizing is all about. For instance, I've discovered over time that most installers actually do badly in first, either in their PV sizing or in the battery sizing. For inverter sizing, there is no much technicality, because someone can even oversize the inverter, which is still not even a problem, right? If you tell an installer that your load is just one fan one TV, one AC. Maybe he does his calculation, he adds up all the energy requirement for each of the appliances, and then comes up with, say, okay, 1000 watts. And he just tells you, oh, 3 kVA is okay. Yes, 3 kVA inverter is perfect. But then, does it take into cognizance how the battery storage that is required to run the stated loads for whatever period that you want it? So how do you know when installer actually does not know what it's doing, or is not really very good at this renewable energy stuff? Number one, in the course of your inquiries and your interaction, the installer must inquire to know how long you want the said load run. I said this because it's not everyone that set up renewable energy system for households. Some people set it up for businesses, for commercial purposes. So for such ones, they may not have needs for the energy at night. It's during the day, just during the day, right? So the installer in question must ask to know all this, because if by the time the setup your inverter sizing is perfect but your energy storage system is sizing is not okay, there will always be a complaint. Like if it gives you a 3.5 kVA inverter, it's okay for your load. Your load is 1000 watt. Then it gives you 2 units of say lead acid battery, and then you have a 1000 watt load on it for night. So by the time you put it on and you run it for, excuse me, you run it for say 2 hours and the battery goes off, or let's say 3 hours, you begin to complain. So it's actually going to seem like the entire renewable energy system is a scam. No, it is not. It is your installer that has failed to size your storage system perfectly well. And the implication of it is that by the time you keep using this battery on such load for long, because there is a quick discharge. When the battery is discharging fastly, when there is a quick discharge from battery, it actually generates heat. It actually begins to damage the battery system gradually. It begins to actually cut down the backup time, the capacity. So it reduces the battery capacity quickly. The cycle time is fastly being depleted, and before you know it, the battery is bad. You're going to start complaining. But the error is that the storage system was not properly sized. And then we also have the sizing of the solar system. Most installers have also failed woefully, because in that case, what I discover is that most people don't end up not even utilizing, they end up underutilizing their resources. Let's take for instance, most charge controllers that you use, you can go back to your house and check your charge controller. By the information sticker that is attached to the charge controller, you discover that most external charge controller, solar charge controller, actually are designed to work on 12-volt system, 24-volt system, 36-volt system, and 48. Those are the common ones. The industrial ones, that there are industrial ones that work on other voltage range, higher voltage range. But I am going to limit my explanation to just the common household solar charge controller. Now, for such controller, for most controllers, you would see that they will actually put on the body the maximum power input for that controller. I'm saying this because even recently, a client called me, someone I got battery for, to replace a battery for. He was telling me he has a 40 amp controller, and he has about maybe 300 watt panels into three. He was even meaning to buy more on a 12-volt system. A 40 amp controller on a 12-volt system cannot take more than 520 watts. 520 for some, maybe 600 max. 520 to 600 max, a 40 amp controller. Now some people buy a 1 kVA system, and then they put, maybe you see them put 200 watt panels, 8, 4, 5, 6 on a 12-volt system. with a 40 amp controller, you know, there won't be an issue, but the solar panels will be underutilized because what is there is that the default for 12 volts is different from for 24 volt, and is different from for 36 for the same controller. The maximum is actually for 48. 48 is the highest voltage system that the site controller can work with. So it is on that 48 volt that it actually, takes the maximum power input. On 12 volt, it has its cap. On 24 volt, there is a cap. On 36 volt, there is a cap. But most installers, the moment they just see maximum input power 3200, maybe for a 60 amp controller that is taking 3200 on 48 volt system, they buy it and they install it on the 24 volt system, and they put 3000 system of inverter. At the end of the day, 3000 capacity of PV array, that's solar panels. At the end of the day, it is being underutilized because the system is for the 24 volt is going to take nothing more than maybe 1400. So you just have those panels up there, just there. The system will not be able to utilize them completely. So this is one of the major, reasons why your system, the solar system, seems overrated to you. You are disappointed after making some investment. It seems not like it is not working. It seems the solar system stuff is a scam. Is overrated. All kinds of remarks that you get from clients. This is one of the reasons. So when you want to go for renewable energy system, if your installer is not asking you relevant questions like how long you want the load run, do you want the AC to run at night or during the day, all that, it needs all those information to be able to give you proper size of your energy storage system, or else it's going to either oversize or undersize. Yes. Then secondly, the second reason why your system seems not to be working is you probably went for the cheaper option, which unfortunately ended up not really paying off. Because over time I've discovered some time ago a client chatted me and said he wanted this, he wanted it. Because one thing I've discovered is that people just come up with loads. AC, let me even state it. Let me digress a little. AC appliance is actually a high energy demanding appliance. AC in your house is high energy demanding. It's an inductive load. We have inductive load, we have non-inductive load. Inductive loads are high energy consuming. One of those inductive loads is your AC, your pumping machine. You get. So some of you will be like, I want 3 AC to run, I want 4 AC to run. Fine. You want 4 AC to run. The batteries that you need to run 3 AC in a house is not small. Yes, renewable energy is not cheap. So someone contacted me and wanted to give me all the list of the appliances that he wanted to run. I said, okay, for these appliances that you want to run, especially your AC, this is the battery bank that you know. By the time I gave him quotation, I didn't even say anything. Probably he has met someone that told him, oh, 1 million can do it. Fine. The person can give you 4 units of battery and maybe give you maybe like a 5 kV inverter, which is still going to accommodate your load, and give you 4 sheets of panels, or maybe 1.8 million or thereabout. But at the end of the day, you now put one AC on it. By the time you put one AC on it, and within 2 hours, it's blinking. The system is blinking. You are saying, what kind of this is that? It's because you want it cheap. You want a cheaper alternative without asking questions, without actually probing the reason why there is a discrepancy in the different quotations. Because that's what a good procurement person does. So if I give you quotation, you have to find out why is it that your own quotation is high. Some clients ask me those questions, and I respect their intelligence. When you give quotation and yours seems to be higher than the counterpart's quotation, and the person is asking that why is it that your own quotation is high. Yes, one thing that most of you fail to understand is that there are different products in the market. Even for lead acid batteries, there are batteries for 250, 260. There are batteries for 340. There are even lead acid battery for 4 something to 500 in the market. Yes. So these different batteries, they have their different prices, and you don't expect their performances to be the same. They cannot even be the same. You get, so you opted for a cheaper alternative without even probing the reason for which there is difference. There is a wide difference between prices. You get. So if you are buying, see, most I've found out that most installers, they don't, if you want it cheap, they will give you anything you want, they will give you. But some of you, by the time they are giving you this thing, they don't tell you that this is what you are going into. That's why you have disappointment. Myself, it's not like I don't also offer cheaper alternatives, but I will let you know that this is the difference. That's why when I make my quotations, I put in bracket the warranty terms for each of the product I'm quoting for, because there are battery products in the market that is for 1 year warranty, even the lead acid battery. There are battery for 2 years warranty. There are 5 years. There are batteries that companies are giving 5 years warranty. So it's common sense. If a company is offering 5 years warranty on the product and the other one is offering 1 year, then you know now that the one that is offering 5 years is going to take more money, because within the next 5 years, if anything happens, it's going to replace. So it means that he's confident of what he's even giving you. Apart from the fact that he's taking higher risk, he's also more confident. So that is also important. You get, that should be part of the things that you look into before you make your choice. And secondly, see, there are different products in the market. Oh, see, the products that you see in Alaba, it's not like they are fake product. Oh, I won't condemn all the Alaba product, but the source, from which you are getting your product matters. You can buy luminous in Alaba for far lesser price than what even the company that is bringing luminous into the country is selling. That one not supposed as not supposed to even fear you. Are you not supposed to even be scared, when you see that kind of offer? Because in Alaba, there is no miracle, there is no magic that they don't do in that market. They change stickers. They can give you 5 kilowatt system for 10 kilowatts. You can buy a charge controller that is 120, that is a 80 amp for 120, that with a sticker for a price of 120 amp. So a lot of things happen. So, and at the end of the day, by the time they now give you quotations for 120 amp, as against someone that is getting it directly from the company, the Alaba quotation is cheaper. So you'll be tempted to go for the cheaper one, but then beware of Alaba. So when you are buying this product, ask questions. Ask questions. That's the second one. Because most of you actually end up buying fake products, cheaper products that are not durable. And then the whole thing seems like so if you are buying things from installers, it's advisable that you buy things from companies, responsible companies that honor their warranty terms. We're not saying that even the best product in the market can fail, but then what about the after sales support? Most of these companies, most of these are Alaba guys that go to China to bring this product. Until recently, most of them didn't even have even replacement part. They don't even have a setup like an engineer that they say, okay, by the time you return this product, so they have to start running after an external repairer to repair for them with any kind of replacement part. So sometimes they even degrade the product. So a lot. That's the second reason. Then the third one is you have a myth. There's a myth that a lot of you actually have about this renewable energy system. You think that because you have invested 1 million or 2 million naira to set up your renewable energy system or a solar system, that it means that you are going to have unlimited yield of power. No, it does not work like that. It works according to your size, the size of your system. And that's why most of you will now begin to overload a one battery system with all of the appliances that you have in your house, and after maybe 1 minutes or 1 hour, it is shouting, you are complaining, and you end up killing the battery. Because see, I even forgot to mention that I went a client called me sometime because in my previous company I was working as a sales engineer, but the manager already knew that I had, years of experience in installation design and the rest of them. So he's aware of my proficiency, though not my job jurisdiction in that company. But one time they had issues and I had to visit one of their clients. What I saw, I was like, who did this? The guy has um a two unit of 10 kilowatts 10 kilowatt inverter in parallel, so which is 20 kilowatts, attached to one unit of 15 kilowatt inverter. For someone that has two inverter, two 20 kilowatt system, you know that the load will not be below 10 kilowatts. So imagine you now have 10 kilowatt load on a 15 kilowatt hour battery. See, most companies, like for Tesla even recommends that for their 15 kilowatt system, that the continuous discharge of current should not exceed 25 amp. Jinko recommends 50 amps. Blue Carbon recommend maybe something around 80 or thereabout for their 15 kilowatt system. So do the math. So for someone that, let's assume that that guy has 10 kilowatt of load on the 15 kilowatt hour inverter system. That is, if you divide that 10 kilo, that's 10,000 watt by 48 volts. You get, if you divide it by 48 volts, you already know how much is the current that is being discharged. It's a lot. It's a lot. That's far above, or even divide it by, okay, sorry, divide it by 220 volts. So that's a lot. That's a lot for an inverter that is, if you do for the battery is going to be discharging at above 200 amp. That's far above the recommended. So I don't know how much, why. So you need to, these are some of the things that are responsible for your system not performing as it should. Partly the fault, in short, I will blame the installer for everything, because that the part of education is also key. By the time I do installation for my client, I do sizing. I tell you from the beginning, this is how much load that you can put on it and this is how long it can take. That education is key, because if you don't do this, they will come back shouting and telling you the system is not performing. You get, so you can't put all the load on any inverter system. The amount of load you can carry, that your system can carry, is dependent on the capacity and your battery storage size. So for someone that has 1 kVA system, you don't expect to use the same, if you put the same load that someone that has 5 kilowatt is putting on his 5 kilowatt system, you don't expect to have the same backup time. You don't expect to have the same backup, because the guy that has 5 kilowatt probably has up to 4 units of battery. Yours is 1, for example. So these are some of the issues, that actually make it look like the renewable energy system is, overrated, is not performing. I tell you that there are standalone solar setup even in Nigeria. Here in the north, there is a 1 megawatt system like that in I think in Kano or one of the state, or Katsina, and it's running. It's a standalone. There are countries that that have adopted renewable energy even for their national supply, like India. So renewable energy is, when it is properly sized, and when you make the right investment, then get the right set of products, it's superb. Something that you're going to enjoy. There are people, I have clients who have been using their renewable system for the last 5 years, since 2020, early 2020, and they are still using it. And it's not even lithium battery that they got, it's even the lead acid battery that the depth of discharge is lower, but it's still serving them. When you have the right, when you do the right, when the right sizing is done, the right selection of product is done, and the right investment is made, and the right education is given to you, the end user, you are good. Thank you. In my next episode, I'm really going to be taking time to also educate some of the upcoming installers, to teach them on load sizing, how to do PV sizing, how to do storage system battery sizing for a solar setup. Thank you for watching, and see you again.